Hello, beautiful humans. It's me, your favorite radish. I'm studying, or I'm trying to study, and I instead, of course, got distracted by a video that just popped up on my YouTube feed. And the video was about this established researcher, I think. Her name is Dr. Ji-Young Lee. And she was explaining, like, BTS and the impact of BTS on just culture in the world. Her lecture was just talking about how BTS is so different from idol groups, and that's really the reason why they've become so big. And it's not like a lot of people are like judgmental towards people who are in like standing idol groups, and like as we move forward, I feel like more and more people that are my age and older are discovering BTS and realizing that they're like so much more than just singers and dancers. I just started watching it casually, and then I was like, holy shit, this is literally everything. And then I started crying because then they started there were a lot of like references to, you know, the songs that are like super intensely meaningful, like Pepsi, Magic Shop, and like Love Maze, N.O., their debut songs, all of those, just Am I Wrong, I think, was also C, just a lot of songs were referred to, and I always forget, like, when I listen to those songs, like, how intensely impactful and how meaningful they are, not just to me, but, like, to the, like, in describing the world and like what is happening in the world, you know, like Spring Day is about like a big ferry incident that happened and a lot of young people died. And yeah, I just wanted to come here and talk about that because I've done a couple of BTS videos so far, and I started with the K-pop room tour, and I realized that I didn't really address the fact that I've become like so used to having them in my life, and I like found people around me who don't really care that I'm in are people who encourage me to like be passionate about standing BTS and like other K-pop groups. But I always forget that it took a while for me to get here, and like I have met many people who are like, why are you doing that? You're a PhD student. You're an engineer. You're so logical. Why are you like, you know, you get the point. But yeah, I think in my K-pop room tour, I didn't get to like mention like all of the things that I have up and the reason why I have them up. Like, it's nice. It's nice to like wake up in the morning and see pictures of little baby Jungkook and just feel happy because he knows that he holds a lot of meaning to a lot of people, and he takes that responsibility seriously, and he tries to like go about his art and his singing in a way that will cheer us up and like hold meaning to us. Like, that's like the kind of the baseline for an artist, I feel like. But BTS specifically works so hard to like convey a message of like loving yourself and breaking down stereotypes and like social hierarchy, like empowering people who normally wouldn't be empowered, mainly because that's how they started. Like, they started from a point where they didn't have any power. Their agency was essentially bankrupt. The Bang PD-nim was like, nobody believed in him, and everybody was like, he's done, his career is done, what is he gonna do? Yeah, the reason why I have so many of like the pictures up is because their presence means every time I see their presence, it's something positive for me, and it brings me positive energy. Especially like there's a, what is it called? Slogan. There's a slogan that I have. And I think I did mention this in the video. It says, thank you for teaching me how to love myself. That slogan itself sort of embodies the entire reason that I'm like into BTS. Yeah, I think there are people who understand the gravity of loving yourself. And I think in general, people tend to not really think about loving yourself actively. And I feel like it's really important. And also didn't realize how important it was until I started getting into them. And the more I started getting into them, the more I was like, yeah, loving yourself is super important. But what's different is being hit in the face every day by, this is how they hate. Yeah, anyway, being hit in the face every day by the fact that you should love yourself, you should work harder to love yourself. It does take hard work, it's hard. It's not something you can just achieve overnight. And like that type of message, being hit with that every day is completely different than just acknowledging the fact that, yeah, loving yourself is like a great thing and then moving on. And even after like multiple years of being hit with that message, it's still really hard to like love myself and completely accept myself and be confident in myself. I think just gradually as you get deeper and deeper into the fandom, there are like a lot of things that sort of distract you from that message. And I think that I've become a little bit jaded because I sometimes am just like, there's so many deep messages and like no person can represent those deep messages, you know? But like that's not what it is. I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that they themselves represent those deep messages. I think what they represent is growth, like personal growth, and like being able to accept the fact that we are on a journey to achieving like something that is somewhat a tangible representation of a lot of the deep messages that they tend to sing about. And they tend to like express in their music videos or whatever, in their content. And I think that is something that took me a while to accept and also figure out, because I don't think, like, when I look at them, I'm not like, ah yes, J-Hope, what a perfect human being, I want to be like him. I don't know if that's how I view it. I don't know if that's how they want us to view it. I don't know if there's anybody who would want to be viewed that way. I know I don't. But I do think that when I look at J-Hope or like Yoongi or whatever, I'm like, this is a person who's encouraging me to grow. And a person who's encouraging his group mates to grow. And a person who's accepting the fact that he is growing. And I think that's really what I take away from BTS, and I think that's something that I take away from their music and their lyrics. And I think I often forget about that, because especially on social media, it's like looking at pictures of how beautiful they are and like videos of how incredible they are at dancing, or like how cute they are in their like content when they interact with each other and like that type of stuff, which is also valid to an extent. But I think sometimes that type of content is sort of like put more on a pedestal because it's aesthetically pleasing. And what's not aesthetically pleasing is being a work in progress, or like what doesn't fit the stereotypical definition of aesthetic. I do think that part of the reason why K-pop culture in general, or like the K-pop paradigm or the genre is so popular is because they tend to show different sides of themselves, and at least one of those sides is not perfect. They're humanized in a way because they like go on VLive and interact with us on social media, show us like pictures of themselves where they're not wearing makeup or nice clothes, and they show us their dorm and how they live, and none of it is perfect. Like it's all like very authentic, I would say. And I think that BTS is like sort of the next level of that. They've taken it to a level where their music reflects the fact that they are works in progress, and their music videos reflect the fact that they're growing individuals. They're not perfect, and they emphasize that. That is the reason why I'm into BTS, and that's the reason why I have so many things up in my room from them, and I'm willing to continue to like show my support for them by buying their merchandise and hanging it up in my room and surrounding myself with that type of rhetoric. Everything that they stand for has given me like a lot of hope and a lot of inspiration to just believe in myself and survive. I'm making this video because I made the K-pop room tour when I was in a really weird mood, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna show everybody the shit on my room walls because it's kind of weird. But now I kind of am like, well, first of all, it's like I have consciously made my room this way. And second of all, there's like a very deep and meaningful reason why I have made my room this way. And I think it's very core to like who I am and my beliefs and how I live my life. And I mean, if you're watching this and you're not a K-pop fan and you don't understand what the big idea behind BTS is, I hope this will help you to understand, because I do think a lot of people go through life just being judgmental about stan culture, and especially K-pop. For some reason, people just don't want to accept K-pop. Maybe it's because it's in Korean, which doesn't make any sense, because Korean is also a language similar to English. If you take anything away from this video, it's that I'm a PhD student in civil engineering, and I'm a highly logical, analytical person. And BTS has changed my life. They're like one of the most meaningful artists in my life, and they continue to give me inspiration and meaning. That's what I hope that you take away from this video. When I started this video, I wasn't expecting it to be this long. I thought I was just gonna fucking word vomit for a while and then be like, bye. I just like came across this video and I was like, oh my god, I have so many things to say, and my heart became so full, and I was like, the relationship between ARMY and BTS is so intense and meaningful, and I feel like I just don't think about that enough on a daily basis, because everything that I do is like fan fiction or like social media or like just looking at their merchandise or their like superficial content, and I don't emphasize the fact that they work so hard on their music to bring positivity to the world, and especially to people like me who might not be in a position to love themselves. Oh man, it's been 20 minutes. I think it's time to go. So I'm gonna go. If you enjoyed this conversation, if you thought this was interesting, I highly recommend that you check out our podcast, which is called Gogo Gayo K-pop Podcast. I'll probably have it linked in various places. That's definitely a podcast that's in line with this type of conversation, and this is all we talk about on there. There are many episodes. We have 27 episodes right now. On this channel, I talk about me and my thoughts, and this just happened to be a thought that I had today, but on that podcast, this is all we talk about. And a lot more effort goes into generating those types of conversations and like thoughtfully talking about K-pop. So I feel like the quality of that content is going to be higher. This was just me like word vomiting. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you made it all the way through, I mean, big congrats. You just listened to me talking for like 20 minutes straight. But it probably won't be 20 minutes. It'll probably be shorter. But big congrats. Good work. You're awesome. I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye.
I like the bed to myself. Nobody stealing covers. I like to drink to myself.